Hello, and thanks for joining today. My name is Jeff Demuth, and I'm a Solutions Architect at AWS. And today we're going to deploy ArcGIS Experience Builder on an EC2 instance. We'll build a simple site, then we'll export that and upload it to our S3 object storage and host a website from our S3 object storage. So this is kind of a project that's near and dear to my heart. I love serverless applications and being able to take a HTML or JavaScript file and put that out on S3. It's really the best cost versus performance out there. You can host this website there for pennies, and it can scale from a couple users to millions of users and still be extremely cost effective. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump into things here. So the first thing I'm going to do is launch that EC2 instance. And I'm going to do that from our AWS Cloud Shell. So I'm a big fan of our Cloud Shell. Basically gives you a Linux terminal right from your command prompt. Takes a couple seconds to spin up here. And then this is a very simple AWS EC2 run instances command. We'll pick our instance type. I've got an instance profile pre-created, which shows tells it what IAM roles it has access to. 100 gig volume, and we'll give it a name, ArcGIS EXP. And it's going to be running on Amazon Linux. So it comes back, it's created our instance. We can close this for now. If I refresh here, I'll see our instance coming online. This is kind of a fun one here. I'm going to do a video on this later. It's running on a funny instance, i7-IE. So this is a full ArcGIS Enterprise on a single instance, but it's using an AWS Spot instance. And the reason this is kind of a very specific instance is because Spot instances use excess AWS capacity to give you significant cost savings. So currently this instance, let's see, I think if I go into Spot instances while this is booting up, we can see the cost savings are like 70–80% off of the actual list price. So this one I'm getting about 63% savings off of its on-demand price. So $74 is the on-demand total, and so far I've only paid $27. But what I'm testing here is I want to see what happens when the Spot instance. The trick with Spot instances is AWS can revoke them at any time to fulfill on-demand requests. And you've got, I think, 60 seconds basically to checkpoint your work and turn it off. But in this one, I'm snapshotting the EBS volume, and it's going to save that EBS volume. So I want to try and reattach that to another instance if and when the Spot instance ever gets revoked. I've actually had this running for a few months, and it hasn't gotten revoked yet. We'll go ahead and pause for a second here. This will probably take 2–3 minutes to come online. So once it's showing the health checks have passed, we'll hop back on and continue the configuration. All right, and actually basically as soon as I paused, it came online. This is running on an M6A. This is an AMD instance. The A in M6A means AMD as opposed to our M6I. And this is kind of the 6 series is an older instance. We're actually on M7s. We'll probably have M8s coming out pretty soon. But the AMD instances are good. The Intel instances are good too. But let's go ahead and log into this instance. Another feature that I'm a big fan of is our session manager. So I can click on this, click connect, click on session manager. We also have a RDP for Windows instances, but this is Amazon Linux. We'll go ahead and connect. And let's go ahead and install ArcGIS Experience Builder. So I went ahead and already did this step, but you're going to download the ArcGIS Experience Builder zip file, whatever URL you have, or if you want to copy it from S3. I think this one was an interesting one where I think it was like available publicly, or if not, it should be in my Esri to download. But now we can see the zip file. We'll go ahead and unzip that file. And I'll post all these commands on my web page as well. Next, we're going to install Node.js with these two commands. CD into the Experience Builder folder, CD into the server folder. We'll run the node command to build the project. And then we'll start our instance. Actually, before I do that, so I've got to go into ArcGIS Online and create OAuth credentials. And as part of that, Experience Builder wants a redirect URL for where to send the authentication back to. So let's go ahead and walk through that step actually. So you go to your ArcGIS Online content, new item, developer credentials, select OAuth, and here's the redirect URL. So that's going to be the IP address of our EC2 instance. Let's do https:// (3001) is the Experience Builder port number. And then I just did defaults for everything here. And then you'll copy this client ID. So now we go in here and start. You'll want to go into this EC2 instance and down to security groups to open up port 3001 to either your IP address or to the world. Allow permissions. And there we go. We're running Experience Builder. We'll say create new project. I'll just say there's all kinds of pre-built sites in here. We'll just do a blank full screen. Add a map here. Add some text. Give our project a name. And another nice benefit is Esri has a lot of their authentication capabilities built into this, so I could start adding feature services that are, public or private, and through this it'll actually prompt for credentials to access that content. With serverless websites hosted on S3, the authentication piece can get a little tricky, but that's all taken care of for you. So we'll go in here, we'll hit save, and then publish. And now we can go ahead and download these files. So we can see it downloads the zip file. And then really all you do is you copy these and paste them into S3. So I created a folder here, pasted those files in. And then you can either do make public using ACL if you've got a public S3 bucket. It's not really recommended. The better approach now is to have CloudFront sit in front of the bucket, and then you give CloudFront access to the bucket. But for testing and demo purposes, it's fine to do it this way. And then we can click on that index.html and click on the link. And here's our serverless website. And everything runs client-side here, so it's very fast, very responsive. And that's all I had for the video today. Lots of opportunity here to, pull in different data sets. And again, there's no servers to manage. Like, this is just files sitting out on S3. I'll probably do a follow-up session to this just to show some of the advanced content and authentication and that. But yeah, stay tuned and like and subscribe. Thanks for joining today.